Cryptos are crashing right now. Bitcoin crashing right now. Who could have warned you about this? Pablo was telling you guys, right? Let's go straight into it. So Bitcoin, I was telling you guys, 108K. Watch out for it. 108K because Bitcoin got itself out of this big rising channel, right? Big rising channel, that's the yellow area, and then gets itself into another big rising channel, which is right here, right? I have some very serious warnings for you guys in this episode. I'm going to talk about why Bitcoin's crashing, why crypto's crashing, because the stock market is crashing, why that's happening, how bad the situation is, and then on top of that, I'm going to give you a couple examples of altcoins that I am buying, and altcoins and where to buy them, how to set up those buy trades. Let's get straight into it. So Bitcoin gets itself into another of these rising channels. So this 108 pulls back. I was expecting a bounce off the lower edge of this rising channel here, right? When much further, in my Discord, I said when it got below 94, 93.5, like around here, I said it better not, close there. So right now we are, what's today's date? We're now on the Friday. This is Asian Australian time. We're on the Friday in the US. This is basically midday US right now, New York time. And I'm in a different time zone. And what happens is basically, as you can see, we've had this bounce. I don't know how this is going to close, but we'd better hope it closes something like above 97. If it closes below 97, like 96 point something, like where it is right now, it's good and bad. Bad as in it's falling outside of the channel. So then we start doing these ones out in the white area, not in the blue, not in the yellow. That's not great. But it's good in that we've still had a long wick to the bottom. And that usually tends to tell us the bottom is in for the next few days or even few weeks, right? So I'm not prepared to call a bottom yet. Let's see what the close will be, right? If you're in my Discord, you get the info from me live. But if you're watching my videos, I'll update you guys in the next day or so after this. So let's have a look at Ethereum. So yeah, we really want this to close above 97. And you can see that back in the channel. If it closes actually below 94 or not even 93.5, then that's in big trouble. So I think Bitcoin, I was saying that if it closes below 93.5, 94 for 2 days in a row, then I think we can expect Bitcoin to go to something like 80 to 83K. You can see that. That's the 50% retracement, right, on this massive Bitcoin move we've just had. Let's have a look at Ethereum. So basically Ethereum is at, where is Ethereum? It is also had a massive bounce. So the good thing, as I would say, so Ethereum, I'll have to admit, right, I thought it was going to stop somewhere. Initially, I said first pull back around 3,700s and then 3,500s. It's basically shot all the way through to 3,100. And then that, I think, is basically taking out all the high leverage longs, right? Basically taking out all the longs. And now the leverage is clear. So basically we've had this big spike, right? Big wick to the bottom. And, we want to see this wick to be as long as possible, and we want to see this solid red part to be as small as possible, maybe even a little bit of green. Then we can see something like this sideways, and then boom. And that could hopefully be the bottom. So we don't want this thing to go any lower on the close, right? We want this to be, say, 3,400. 3,400 close for the Friday in the US, or higher would be best. If it gets below 33.75, then I'd be saying it's not great. So overall, Ethereum basically represents where the altcoins are going. Overall, let's have a look at where the situation is. So this is kind of, on the weekly, it's still looking bad. So do we get like by Saturday, this is only Friday US time, do we get something like a close above 3,800 by the weekly? If not, then basically we're still going to see Ethereum do all sorts of these sort of things, screw around down here, below 3,500, around 32, 33, and then eventually pop up. So this is what I would call turning into a cup and handle pattern. And it's a pretty big one. See, it's taken since March all the way to December, and then like this, right? Maybe around January or Feb, and then we go up. That's a massive one. So when it breaks out, this cup and handle, it could be big. And this is what you call an even bigger 4-year long cup and handle. This is 2021, big cup here, handle, and then a small cup and handle. So this is what you call a cup and handle inside a cup and handle. Very powerful pattern when it eventually breaks through. Okay, so I'm then going to explain to you guys why this is happening, why cryptos and stocks are all dumping at the same time, and then I go on to talk about some smaller altcoins, the altcoins that I'm buying. So first of all, that says the question of what crypto exchange does Pablo use? Well, Pablo is very mindful of the fact that when you make big gains, you're going to be paying lots of taxes. So that's why a non-KYC exchange is useful, because they don't ask for your ID. Nobody knows who you are. Not the government, not the IRS, not the tax office, not anybody. And even Americans can use it because it's non-KYC, so they don't know who you are, right? So the one I use is basically Bitunix, and they've made a deal with me. This is Pablo's deposit rewards, and it's basically now the largest non-KYC exchange in the world, which means they basically have, great depth, great liquidity. That means you get your orders filled very easily without, a lot of commission. So deposit 100 USDT and get a $20 futures bonus. Deposit 1,000, get 200 futures bonus. And basically we click here, and that's where you can register. If you are on YouTube, then basically click in the description below you right now, and that's where it is, right? If you're on some other platform, don't worry, just go to my page, and that's my stand link where it says Pablo He-Man. When you click in there, it's the first item that pops up, the first one, because this is a big deal. We click on the Bitunix link there, and boom, there we are with all the deals and offers. There it is. Just okay. So let's get back to the altcoins. This is something by the way, it expires in like about 6 days or 7 days. So lasts not much of a chance to get into this great bonus reward. Let's get back to the coins I'm talking about. Okay, the reason why we're having this big pullback is because it's technical and fundamentals. Basically, we all know the fundamental reason is because Jerome Powell basically said that we're gonna only cut rates twice in 2025. Markets freaked out. They thought, okay, we're gonna cut rates like 4 times, but Jerome Powell said only 5. Here's the problem, you see. Here's the problem. Last time this happened, right, Bitcoin and everything else went into a big bear market. So here's Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin. And last time when they disappointed, remember at the start of the year, around March at the start of this year, basically the markets were expecting 6 rate cuts to come from the Federal Reserve this year. And the Federal Reserve, that was back in March, around here. And the Federal Reserve said basically, no rate cuts are coming possibly this year. And that's when Bitcoin went from 73K, tanked into the 50s, and then 49K. Right, 49K, that was in August. That was the Japanese yen carry trade crash. And so then we bounced up because Trump winning, and he's very pro crypto. So the big fear is that with the Federal Reserve disappointing the markets again, we could have this sort of thing again. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Personally, that's not what I'm expecting. The reason why is back then, the only thing we could hope for in crypto was that Federal Reserve liquidity was coming. Right now, that's not the case. Right now, we can actually, even if the Federal Reserve doesn't cut rates much, doesn't do QE, right, we can still expect the Trump establishment and Wall Street and those guys to come in and do more buying. So right now, it's policy driven. Before, we were hoping for a Federal Reserve liquidity driven market. Right now, we're we've got a policy-driven market, right, from Trump, from Wall Street, because good policies, beneficial policies, are being put out for crypto. So again, let's look at the charts that I wanted to show you guys, and you think that's why crypto is dropping, right? Is that why crypto is dropping? Yeah, that's the fundamental reason. There's always a technical reason. See, before we came into this, and I should have, as I told my Discord, I should have been aware of this. This is actually the NASDAQ composite. NASDAQ composite, meaning it's basically the entire NASDAQ index with hundreds, like over 1,000, 2,000 stocks in there. So basically, you can see that once again, it is in a perfect, right, rising channel. And it just hit like about 3 days ago, and I should have alerted to that because then it pulled back. So this is why we're getting this big pullback, right? And it could go as low as this 18,600, let's call it 18,600 area. Right now, we're having a bounce. I'm not sure. I can't be confident enough to say, oh, that's the end of the dip. If I had to bet, I would say at least for the NASDAQ, right? I would think bounces up and then something like this goes to 18,590, 18,600, and then we bounce up again to continue the bull market. A blow off top, something like that. And the reason why I made this mistake is because I was looking only at the QQQ. The QQQ is basically the NASDAQ 100. So I'll say that again. I was looking at the NASDAQ composite, right? That's all the NASDAQ stocks. This QQQ is the ETF of the NASDAQ 100, which only measures the top 100 stocks. So you can see it's also in this rising rectangle. Let me just put on weekly chart so where it's easier to see, right? And it's already punched above. It already punched above this rising channel. So I was warning about it pulling back to my Discord. It did that pull back right there, but nothing much happened, and then it just kept on going. Kept going, and I thought, okay, probably we're safe now. Now, the problem is this. If we get a close back into this yellow area for the QQQ, that's the NASDAQ 100, then we're in big trouble. The fact that it can close above this blue trend line right here, which is around 514, that's good. We want to see that for the close of the NASDAQ and the QQQ. So right now, the mistake I made was thinking the NASDAQ 100 equals the NASDAQ index, which it does mostly, 99% of the time, except right now, the top 7 stocks were 8 stocks. The NASDAQ 7, the Magnificent 7 stocks are just basically so strong right now. They're pushing up, right? So you see here, they're pushing up above the resistance by themselves right now, and basically Bitcoin and basically the other 1,000 Nasdaq stocks are just hitting the top of the channel right now. So that's why you got to look at both the QQQ and the Nasdaq Composite Index, right? So I am a little bit worried. That we're going to get some sort of pullback like this. If the reason why I talk about the stock market is because stock market is so much bigger than the crypto market, and if the stock market does a big dip like this to say 18,500, 18,600 area, then Bitcoin and crypto likely would do a big dip. Look at this. The reason why I'm concerned is because last time the Nasdaq hit pulled back, right? This was a 15% pullback, and Bitcoin went to 49K from like 65 to 49K. That was in August because the Japanese yen trade ended. You might remember this. And the reason why I warn about this is because last time, look at the QQQ, right? He's the top of the channel, goes into a bear market, right? His top of the channel does a 15% pullback, and Bitcoin went to 49K. That's only when it does a 15% pullback. Now imagine if the NASDAQ composite hits here and goes into a bear market. Now, I'm not expecting that. I'm saying that could happen, but I'm not expecting that for now. I think we go up more for now. But a 15% move could be something like this, right? If that happened, then Bitcoin could easily go to 81, 82K, right? So right now, 18,600 is what I'm expecting. If it doesn't go down and keeps on just floating up, maybe even break through and go up, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic, right? I just need to warn you guys what the situation is. Okay, now I'll do a couple of altcoins to see where we're at. Okay, basically this, for example, is total crypto market cap, but not counting Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's like all the other altcoins such as Solana, Binance, BNB, XRP, Phantom, ADA, all those coins. Now, it was looking really terrible earlier because it was around here. And now with the great PCE inflation data we had, which was below expectations on every measure, so the market bounced, right? That's why the Nasdaq is bouncing. That's why the SP 500 is bouncing, and that's why the crypto market is also bouncing here. So this is what we want to see. This is basically a very strong close. Even a little bit of green would be great, right? We want a long wick here to signal, yeah, probably the bottom is in. Just like we had a long wick here, see, signaling the bottom is in. We had a long wick here. So if that's the case, if it closes like this or even a little bit higher today, then I would say the short-term bottom is in, although I'm still worried for the Nasdaq, right? I'm still worried for the Nasdaq. So we could have crypto altcoins go sideways and then pop up. Let's have a look at Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, for example. Now, this is very interesting because here we were in altcoins, altcoin season territory, because this long channel, long uptrend of Bitcoin was broken. And now we really, really do not want to see Bitcoin get back into this trend, right? Above this trend line. So it closed for one day and it's about to close here for a second day, but this is a big top in tail. We want to see this, right, close like this, and then Bitcoin subsequently drop out of here. And really, I think this 58.2% area is again kind of like the key threshold. I want to see Bitcoin dominance get a close for 1 or 2 days below this area again, and then I can be sure altcoin season is back on again, and then we do this, right? So for now, do I think altcoin season is not happening? No. Right now, we're in a very tricky time where it's playing, it's flirting with us. It's basically Bitcoin dominance is going above the trend line, below the trend line, above the trend line, below the trend line. So right now, what I think the best strategy is basically to play what I call play half offense, half defense. I'll show you why. Okay, let's have a look at an even bigger stock market measure. This is the SP 500, right? This is the 500 largest stocks in the US, and it also includes Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, MicroStrategy, Microsoft, all those stocks. And the reason why this is good is because it's not 100 stocks like the Nasdaq 100. This is 500 stocks of the biggest, and it's not just tech stocks. It's got like General Motors or General Electric, all the big older stocks as well. And have a look at this chart. This chart actually looks kind of different from the Nasdaq chart. Do you notice anything? So here, basically, you can see it's also an established rising channel, but it's actually nowhere near the top. So it is possible that it goes down and tag the bottom, right? This would be a great place because see this 565 area, that's both the bottom, the rising channel, and also pivot top and pivot top. But there's equal chance here, right? It could float up, tag the top. If these 500 companies float up and tag the top, then Bitcoin wouldn't have so much sell pressure. Then there's every chance Bitcoin can float up to 108, 109K again. So right now I'm worried about the Nasdaq. SP 500 seems okay-ish. In this case, I would say play half offense, half defense. I'll give you an actual example of what I mean by that. So for example, here is HBAR. Now, HBAR, for example, is already a little bit big, and it's already a little bit big, but it's like $13 billion right now. But Trump seems to really like it because it's. I'll tell you why Trump likes it for two reasons. Because one HBAR is actually it's got the HBAR Council, so it's not decentralized. Don't be under this idea it's decentralized blockchain. It's basically the HBAR Council has like 23 or 23 companies on there, and they're major institutions like JP Morgan or Boeing or Xerox, right? So those companies tend to be friends with Trump, right? Trump's a real estate tycoon billionaire himself, so Trump likes this coin, and plus somehow he really thinks this is American coin, so he's going to promote it. So from what we can see, coins like not so much Solana, because that Solana has too much meme coins on there. So basically coins like XRP, HBAR, right? These American coins that are legit, that are building legitimate infrastructure and utilities. Trump likes them a lot. So there's every chance, even though it's a $13 billion coin, but there's still every chance that HBAR could go like maybe another 5x from here, right? Not financial advice. But so another 5x would place it at around what? 65 billion. 65 billion, that would probably place HBAR in the top 10. It's like number 18 right now. And you know, for people who like large cap coins, this is something that could happen. So for HBAR, obviously, it's already trying to challenge the all-time high. The resistance is somewhere around 43, 44, and then ultimately around 58. That's called a 58 cents, and then it goes, right? Maybe it can get to $1 here. If it gets to $1, it'll be 4x from here. So, for example, if we're not so sure where the market is going right now, then basically we play some defense and some offense. So when it drops, then I actually have some buy orders around 24. Right, picked up on this sharp bounce here when the PCE got announced. And then let's say if things get worse, Bitcoin goes to 80 cents, whatever, I would have more dollar cost averaging orders at this 19 cents area. If Bitcoin, like say, drops to 75K, right, I'm not saying it's going to go there, but it is possible, right, then I have some lazy orders at this 15 cents area, just in case it wicks down like this and picks up my 15-cent order, and instantly then I'm in profit, right? Now, for the guys trading the futures in uncertain times like this, when the NASDAQ is signaling it could be going down for a few weeks or even a couple of months, then it's good to be playing both sides, to be doing some shorts as well, right? I'm not saying to go short on the market. I'm saying play some longs, play some shorts, basically cancel out your risk. So if, for example, if HBAR was to get up to this 43, 44 area, and if Bitcoin is, say, still not looking strong, right, still stuck under say 100K at say 96, 97K, then maybe a short here, right? Maybe a short here, right? And then take profit when it gets to here. Short the resistance and exit the trade around 0.23, 0.24. Or you may decide not to do that. You may decide shorting isn't for me, then basically just write it up, just by spot, not futures, just by spot, write it up to say around here, right? Take 10%, 20% profit, and then try to write the rest, right? But if you have large spot bags of, say, HBAR, XRP, SUI, or Ethereum, whatever it is that you have, you may want to hedge some of that with futures, with some futures, right? Just in case the market, goes down a lot. I don't think the market is that looking that great right now. So I'm a little bit worried with where the market is. Look, It's uncertain. So I would say play both longs and shorts. Play both. Both sides of the market. I would. I'm selling some coins, and also when like today, when it dropped down, I was buying, and when it wicked up, I may sell some more if it hits resistance. So it depends. So whereas before I was only buying, now I'm selling some if it hits resistance. I'm buying some if it hits support. Right. I'm still leaning bullish. I don't think the bull run's finished, but I think now it's probably better to play both sides and be more cautious because of the situation on the Nasdaq right now. Okay. Thank you for your attention, guys. I'll catch you guys in my next video.